Are you tired of letting people pick your brain for free? Like if you're anything like me, anytime I get that question, it literally makes me cringe. But now I want you to charge for it, and I actually want you to build a business around it. Why don't you, instead of helping people pick your brain for free, start building a business around your brain? I'm gonna be giving you all my insight from building a 7-figure online business from my expertise. And so I'm so excited for this conversation. Let's get into it. And I got with me art.mp4.
Let's go.
We're holding the mics like Gen Zs do it.
I literally said to him, let's do it Gen Z style. So that's why. And
if you can tell, maybe Art's shot looks kind of very similar to the last spot because you see a window, but background's different. We're in our new space and we're actually in the lobby. Like our last studio, there was no lobby. It just like you walk right into the studio. And so, yeah, if you saw anything about the last video, the video department, it's no longer the studio. It's now called HQ, the video department HQ.
People thought you were better than that, by the way.
Better than what?
The last video you posted.
I was better than that?
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
Because you clickbaited them.
Oh, okay. But like, that's how you clickbait though.
Yeah.
That's how you properly use
It was
clickbait.
valid because it was genuinely like, it wasn't a lie. They did take everything. The movers took everything.
Yeah. So anyway, we wanted to, number one, prove a point that we don't need it all dialed. Like what you see right now are 2 cameras set up, our 2 mics just recording the audio, and we're in the lobby, and literally what's lighting us right now is the sun. So we got our window, like, I mean, there's a lot of windows, but I just wanted to prove a point. Like everything in us, we're like, well, let's just wait till we have it all set up. But we're like, here we are. We want to make sure you get a podcast, and we're on one. Like there's some momentum on the channel. And if you're new, we're so grateful for you. If you're not new, so grateful for you. But I wanted to get into essentially how to build an online business around your brain. And in the last, I've been an entrepreneur since 2016, but I started my coaching and consulting in January of 2023, or at the end of December 2022. So here we are, we're about, what is that? 1 year, a little over 2 years in building an online business. And in the last 6 months, we've hit over $1 million in revenue. So, yeet.
Yeah, the last 6 months, including the end of last year is what you're saying.
Yeah, I would say from October to now. October 2024 to now.
Right.
We've done well over.
Yeah, but it's also cool to think that last year's goal for you, or not even a goal, but just what you had in mind was to hit 1 million.
Yeah.
And like to think that in the first 3 months of this brand new year,
Dang near hit it.
Yeah.
It's pretty sweet.
I think that's cooler than the fact that like the last 6 months you've hit 1 million.
Sure. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And then we were also helping, I've also helped a lot of people at this point reach really cool breakthroughs when it comes to building a business around the brain. And that's really what I wanted to talk about today. And I have some thoughts and some notes here because right now we're living in maybe it's a trend. I'm seeing quote unquote everyone becoming a coach, which like in anything, if everybody's doing something, there's still only a few people that do it really well. And then you take an industry and you're like, there's even less people doing it really well in an industry. And so I want you to crush it this year and doing it the right way. I've paid a lot of money. I've paid a lot of time to have to figure this out. And like I always say, I am no filter. So, and if anything comes to mind, maybe I have a feeling this podcast conversation is going to have several spin-off conversations. Several based on your comments below if you want us to go deeper on one thing. So let's jump right into it. And that's the first thing I wrote down is that you must pick a lane. You have to pick a lane to dominate. If like, I had this thought, like I literally made my first $1 million in business with one platform, essentially one problem, one link, one offer. So like the goal isn't for you to do more. The goal is for you to actually do less. Nobody wants to pay a generalist. If you take And that's that's like probably one of the biggest problems is people want to help everybody. Like if you're a fitness coach, you want everyone to be your client. But the reality is like, you probably have a better job helping someone specifically with their specific problem. So like I help women over 40 get their dream bodies with minimal workouts or something like that. Like, right. A person who's over 40 will pay more for that than if you're just a fitness coach. So I just want to ask you the question, or I want you to ask yourself this question. I help people do what? What do you help people do?
How do they figure that out though? Because it's a great question to ask, but yeah,
especially if you're newer.
Like, how do you answer that yourself?
By actually helping people.
But with what?
Like my thing is with the thing. Like if you're good at anything, and this is like, I could never give you expertise. I can help you explain it. I can help you talk about it. I can help you market it. But this is for people who are already helping people. So I was like, you've either achieved a result or a transformation for yourself, or you've helped other people achieve it. And that's what I hope you know why people pay for things. That's why people pay for it. People will pay you to get the result or the transformation. But like, what do you help people do? So like, how about, I didn't even plan on doing this.
Okay.
But let's just take you as a guinea pig right now.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to help you build an online business.
All right, let's
through this conversation. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Okay, what do you help people do?
I help people get exposure in their industry through high quality content.
That's really good. What does exposure do for a person?
Exposure increases lead generation. It increases brand. They become more well known.
Okay, so so the problems people are facing right now, and this is where like, what do you help people do? You got to also know, without your help, what's going on. Like, if people don't get your help, they're obscure. They blend into the crowd. Nobody talks good about, nobody talks good behind their back. You're saying that you help build their brand. And I understand that, like, people think, a lot of what you said is just stuff you've learned just from being around, right? Mm-hmm. You help them increase their leads.
Yeah.
Do you realize that there's no such thing as a business without leads?
Right.
You don't have a business if you don't have leads. So like, you fix the leads problem in a business so that you no longer have a business problem. What if I told you that you don't have a business problem, you just have a leads problem? If you had more leads, you'd have more business. And then we can go into quality leads and like, anyway. So yeah, you asked the question, like, how does somebody like arrive to that? And you arrive to that by actually helping people. Like, that's Frank Kern says, prove to people you can help them by actually helping them. And this is why I love putting your expert on display with platforms like YouTube. Because if you can genuinely help people, like we help people with this podcast, people are making money not having to give me $1. All that's doing is proving that I can help people, right?
Right.
And so I wrote, you have to be good. You actually have to be good. And you only get good by repetition. So if that means you need to start helping more people and document it, sometimes you can help people just for the use of testimonials. Like, hey, if I help you get this result, would you do a testimonial for me? Like, usually the answer is like, yeah, I'm down. But this is for anybody. If you've helped anybody, period. And I found that like, the deeper you go with how you help people, the more awareness and exposure you get to the actual problem you solve. So some people, usually it's very surface level. I could tell most people will have a surface level solution by just hearing what do you help people do? I help people with their wellness, and I help people with their finances. Okay, let's go a little bit deeper. Like, who's the kind of people that you help? Oh, I help I help Gen Z create financial freedom in 5 years. Like, because, and the more you can identify the person you want to help, the stronger your offer will be, because it's going to speak directly to a person. And I'm going to break down offers and stuff like that. But I just wanted to, like, you can't just be a motivational coach. You can't just be a goal coach or like a growth coach, a belief coach,
or like a life coach.
A life coach.
That's
goodness.
like very common.
A life coach? Like, what the heck? You're going to help me breathe tomorrow? It's like, bro, what are you talking about? So genuinely help people. And a lot of the times it stems from our own personal passions and our personal experiences. So we internalize a lot of things when we're cooking up an offer or a product. And you have to pause for a second, understand that you're good at what you do, but then at the same time, you need to put yourself in their shoes and what would get them to care. People don't care about you. They care about themselves. And so if you could put yourself in their shoes, and the more people you help, you're going to start seeing a pattern in the problems that people have. The patterns in the problems that people have. That's a lot of P's. But that doesn't come unless you just put yourself out there and help more people. So we're going to help you build this business. So I believe the one of the first steps in this phase of building an online business from scratch is finding the ability to manufacture infinite amounts of content.
That's that was big. It was a big sentence.
It's a lot. But when I say infinite amount of content, I mean you need to tap into you need to tap into how you're going to be able to show up consistently online talking about the subject matter that you are an expert at. So that could be experiences. That could be sharing stories about people you've helped. That could be actually, when you think about a thought leader, this is somebody that can carry out a thought and run with it and then create formulas and frameworks and teach, like being able to teach from the thing that you're helping people with. You can do commentary. So like, I saw something from Myron yesterday. He made a video on creating your own economy despite all the tariff stuff happening.
Right.
That was his ability to tap into his expertise and create content around something happening in culture. This is what I like to call trend surfing. And here's why, and I'm going to tell you, here's why you need to prioritize content if you plan on building an online business. Number one, people are going to investigate the crap out of you when you give them an offer. Or they're going to do their investigating while they're looking to solve their problem, not knowing that you're the person yet, right? So that's one reason to be consistent. The second is this whole concept I kind of got from Patrick Bet-David. He kind of brought this to my attention and is brilliant, but it's this thing called the 7 Mountains of Influence. There was a book written in like 2011, in the mid 2000s, is that what it is called? Mid 2000s. 7 Mountains of Influence. It's from a book called the Babylon something. Okay. Omar, move on. All right, here we go. The 7 Mountains of Influence, okay? Regardless of what industry you're in, you are trying to influence one of these 7 areas, and I'm going to show you how it's no longer 7, it's actually 6. You have religion, family, government, education, media, arts and entertainment, and business. Religion, family, government, education, media, arts and entertainment, and business. Arts, entertainment is intertwined. Okay. The 7 Mountains of Influence. I'd like to know, put it in the comments if you're listening on YouTube or watching on YouTube. Which mountain are you trying to climb?
That's actually a great way to start. Like,
which is, what do I help people with? That kind of could start. Like,
Yeah.
What mountain of influence am I trying to climb?
Right.
Yeah, I feel like that's true. This is uncomfortable in my hand. I'm getting arthritis, bro.
I feel it in my shoulders.
Yeah.
I don't know how the Gen Z podcasters do it.
You tell me, bro. You're Gen Z.
I don't know.
No,
I mean, it looks easy from what I've seen.
Okay, so here's the picture I want to paint. This was created by somebody early in the 2000s and something, right? The truth is there is no longer 7 mountains of influence. There's only 6. And I say that because media is no longer a mountain. It is the ski lift to get you on the other mountains. Say what? You are not going to create an impact or influence in any of these areas without the use of media. So when I say you need to find a way to create an infinite amount of content, it's a non-negotiable. Praise God, by the way. It seems like I'm the guy in the gold rush that has the shovels and the tools, because I help people build their brands with content, with video, with media. So media at one point was its own mountain. This is traditional, right? Traditional media, television, newspapers and things like that. Now it's no longer a mountain. It is the ski lift. Everyone listening or watching this podcast, you have the permission to build your presence online without anyone's permission. I know I'm saying you have the permission, but you have the permission. No one's stopping you from doing that. So I say all that to say, you need to make content around your subject matter of expertise. You can make specific content. I actually encourage, when you're starting out, just be as specific as you know to be. How to do this on YouTube. I built my entire base on how-to videos. 70 million views, how-to videos. Make broad content. Make content like this. How to build an online business from scratch in 2025. That's a pretty broad approach, and I'm okay with that. I'll have other videos where I have very specific approaches, and I would encourage you to teach. If you want to be paid, position yourself as a teacher, not an entertainer. Most people don't realize, because everybody's just trying to get a view. Everybody's just trying to get a follow. Everybody's just trying to go viral. If you go viral for the wrong reasons, I don't know. And it by the way, this is for people that I'm saying, if you want to charge a lot of money for your consulting services, your coaching offer or whatever, teach, don't entertain. Now, if you want to build a media company and you want brand deals and sponsorships, by all means, go for it. There's this girl that keeps showing up on my Instagram, and she holds a wine glass, and she just does music videos in her bathroom, but she's always rapping to Kendrick Lamar, and it's very impressive that she knows all the lyrics, but dude, every second she's cutting, it's a different shot. She's just so animated, and I'm just is that what you're gonna do the rest of your life? You're just gonna dance in the bathroom with a wine glass?
Right.
That's fine.
Or it's like the Ashton Hall guy.
So then there's this guy named Ashton Hall who's literally growing by 1 million followers. Zero hate, zero shade.
Yeah.
I actually think it's cool. What works for him is it actually aligns with what he's doing. It's because he's a fitness person and he films himself working out, but then he also breaks it up in the car videos, breaking down things. So he took off all links. He doesn't even have a link in his bio anymore, because it's just
oh wow,
it's crazy. But so he's still teaching, but Ashton Hall, he's gonna be known as the guy who puts his face in ice water.
Yeah, he's known as the daily routine guy right now.
Yes. So you want to create infinite, that takes time. And here's what the thing: you're not gonna actually tap into it until you start creating. It's one of those things. Is you don't tap into the infiniteness of content creation until you start creating content, because everything in your head, there's a limit. Then you start getting it out, then it creates feedback. Then there's a feedback loop.
Okay, but why do you say infinite? Because
Because
to me, that's an interesting word just because it can seem a little daunting, like infinite. Like, I just think about people who aren't online yet, but they have a business. And I don't know if necessarily like making infinite content is where they want, like naturally it's not where I want to be. Like,
For
oh
sure.
my gosh, infinite content. What the heck? What is that going to entail?
What I mean when I say infinite content, I mean that if you made 10 videos, you should be able to make 10 more videos.
Right.
Like when I say infinite content, I don't mean up, volume. I mean the ability to just create from a deep well. That's what I mean. So like if we shot a podcast every week, like, I mean, I did a coach call today on sales that went 2 hours. It went 3 hours long. I taught for 2 hours.
It was a 3-hour call.
And I've never done a podcast on sales. I mean, all I'm saying is when I say infinite amount of content, I just mean the ability to create until Jesus comes back. Like,
you personally, how did you arrive there? How did you come to realize, dang, I can just talk about this forever? Like, I am a deep well of information.
Part of it is my expertise through it. So and we all have the permission to talk from our place of experience and expertise. Second is like taking responsibility for people that I help. So I'm actually the lead researcher for things. Like, I'll be the first to tell you that podcasters are signing $100 million deals because I just like I'm on the front lines of it. And then it's also like what I'm doing with information. So I found out Jerry Seinfeld is a billionaire, self-made billionaire, because of a series he did in the 90s. Now, because I'm a creator, and we're all creators, by the way. We're all creators. You're just not focused. You're just not focused is why I would say you probably don't have like you haven't tapped into that. But I personally am trying to make sense of Jerry Seinfeld's self-made billionaire thing on a creative season in his life. He only had to go ham for X amount of years and it took care of him for the rest of his life. I actually believe this about video. Like, you do it right, life will become easier.
Right.
So, but that's me taking something going on and then recontextualizing it. Like, if I really sat down, I could turn Jerry Seinfeld's life into a podcast episode and what we can learn as creators.
Sure.
So does that answer the question? I mean, it's I guess the word is it's an obsession. Like, I'm genuinely obsessed to the point, and people might think I'm crazy, but like I don't like veg out and watch unnecessary content. And we're all just a reflection of what we're putting in. So I would say if you want to have an infinite amount of content, you need to infinitely be learning.
Right.
So if somebody's hedge is like, but, I would ask, what are you doing to feed your mind or feed your spirit that is making you feel a resistance? Like, I can't do that. I mean, I read the Bible. I try to read it every day. I'm not perfect. Let's just call it 5 days out of the week minimum. I'm a parent. But even I start my morning from an infinite resource. Like, the Bible is
sure
an infinite. It's a living and active, Hebrew said. So that's what I would say. Like, consume. So if you change what you're consuming, and it'll change what you're creating, and it'll change how you're creating.
Yeah. So most likely, like, people who are deep wells of information about the thing, most of the time they are obsessed about it, and that is why.
Yeah, and people will pay you for the thing you care about more than them. And then when it gets to a place where, like, right now it's a concern, but they find somebody cares more about my concern than I have myself before I got here, they'll be happy to pay for the fix. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Hey, department fam, wanted to take a brief break from this conversation. I hope you're enjoying it as much as I am. And the first thing I wanted to talk about is that, did you know that 75% of the people that watch this podcast on YouTube actually aren't subscribed, which is a high chance that you're not subscribed. So number one, I want to say thank you for listening or watching the podcast. And number two, if you can hit that subscribe button, that would be amazing. The second thing is, if you are an entrepreneur content creator, or somebody looking to make money online, I want to encourage you to come to this online event called the Content to Cash Challenge. This is a special 5-day event that's going to give you access to the system I use in my business to make multiple 6 figures with my content. If you've been desiring to either get your business and brand more exposure, grow a YouTube channel, whatever it is when it comes to video, I would encourage you to jump into the Content to Cash Challenge. We'll be sure to post the link to the challenge down in the show notes or the description. And I want to encourage you to jump into the VIP experience. This will give you access to a 1-hour Q&A call every day of the challenge. This will guarantee myself to answer a personalized question you may have. So I'll see you on the Content to Cash Challenge. Now let's jump back into the conversation.
Is it safe to say that like if you're not obsessed about the thing you're in, it might be the wrong thing?
I think that when I say obsessed, I also mean passionate. I also mean, yeah, I mean, sure. Nobody wants to buy something from somebody. I won't say it. I don't want to make an ultimatum statement there, but dude, if someone's not excited about what you sell, then no one's going to be excited or going to feel like buying it. So
right. Yeah. No, I mean,
I don't want people to disqualify themselves because they're not as obsessed as I am in my lane. That's not what I'm trying to get at. But like, all I'm saying is you were hardwired to care about something more than the average human being about a thing.
Sure.
I think we all have that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the only reason I ask is just because I could imagine there are people that are trying to make this work, their business work, their content, their brand work. And yeah, they just feel like they're missing that piece.
Yeah, the reality is you don't have to build an online business from your brain, but that's not what this conversation is. We're not talking about drop shipping. I'm not talking about affiliates. I'm not talking about so if you want to go the behind the scenes route, you can do that and you could succeed in that. This is for people who are like, no, I do like Pokemon cards. No, right. I do like fitness. No, I do like finances. No, I do like relationships. I mean, like whatever that is. No, I do like business. So, and when I say I do like, I mean the things of mountains of influence. I do love motherhood. I do love whatever, so I do love politics, whatever that is. But that's a whole nother conversation about self-awareness. And I would say you should have a level of self-awareness if you're going to build a business, because you're your own limit and lid in business. And so if you lack self-awareness, then your business will always have a ceiling at every level. But the reason why you need to create content initially is because you need to build the brand. When I say build a brand, I mean, people trust you. I mean, people think about you connected to this problem. One of the best compliments I get is content king or Mr. Drippy Crispy, or they're literally, people think of me as the content guy. You need help with your videos, you need help with your personal brand, you need help with your YouTube channel, hit up Omar. That comes over time, but that didn't come without me. That came because I was creating content.
Yeah. I feel like people, even me, know the answer to this question I'm about to ask you, but I want to unpack it. What is the best platform to do that on?
The best platform to build brand,
is
the platform you'll be the most consistent in.
Okay.
Now, I'm biased.
Yes.
And I believe the fastest way to build brand is through YouTube.
Yes.
Or long form is another way to put it. The fastest way to build brand is with long form content, because your return on your outputs, meaning every upload you put, the return on that, if you understand how YouTube works and you do the best you can and you hire a coach, then it'll be much more worth your time. I would rather have a handful of people who watch my YouTube videos than thousands of people who follow me on Instagram.
Yeah.
And that's just personal opinion.
Right.
I know people who've built $1 million businesses with just Instagram.
But is that hindsight now? Because I'm not trying to call you out, but
call me out, bro.
But the first thing you said was, when you made your first $1 million in business, you were focused on one platform. And from maybe people's perspective or mine even, you've had both for a while, and that's Instagram and YouTube. So when you say you were focused on one platform. What is the platform in your head that you were focused on?
YouTube.
YouTube. Okay.
I mean, 90% of the videos we put on Instagram are from YouTube videos. I won't say 90. Okay, we'll say 70.
Right. No, I mean,
other ones are like coach
like
calls.
my mind goes to when you start, like when you like you've been on YouTube with Think Media for a while, but when you started your like Omar as a brand, it was Instagram, and you like went in, like you really committed to Instagram, just building and just posting. So,
but I wasn't making money.
Right.
So
but you were building brand.
A little bit. I think yes, but like things really went crazy. That's what, like, when I say that, like, that, like, I was dabbling on Instagram.
Okay.
I wouldn't say I was focused on Instagram.
Okay.
And when I say dabbling, I mean, I was still repurposing Zoom calls for my Instagram posts. I wasn't like creating on Instagram still.
Right.
So that, like, when I say, like, I put all my energy on the YouTube stuff, and then that feeds everything else. So, like, that's the platform. And I think about, I mentioned him before, but Chris Ward, who's in the Inner Circle, he said he spent 14 different touch points with me, and like 8 of those were podcasts. So that's 8 hours. Like, he spent over 8 hours with me with 8 pieces of content. If I got 8 pieces of content from LinkedIn or Instagram, then that doesn't equate to that much time spent.
Right.
But the thing about, like, I like to think as Instagram as like a business card. It's and the reality is like, if somebody has a problem and they're looking to just clean their car and you have a business card and it's like your business, chances are is like, that'll make sense. I'll just do the thing, right? So like, you could totally build your thing on Instagram. I'm just a fan of YouTube because it's like, really, you could prove yourself on YouTube because it's really hard to fake it. Like, I'm not faking,
right.
I'm not acting right now. I'm not even like creating a polished delivery of something. I got notes on my phone that are coming from like a place of know-how. So I
mean, I only ask that because, like, you know, a big thing right now is everybody is an Instagram guru or creator that is blowing up, and, you know, building a following on IG based off of like short form content.
Yeah. But that's when it comes down to the offer, and we'll get there.
Yeah.
When it comes down to that part, then that's where the rubber meets the road. That's where, like, unless you're really good at sales, does it even matter? The thing is like, I believe I'm pretty good at sales, but what makes it so much easier is that people know me before I even give them an offer.
Right.
I win them to my essence and personality before I even give them an offer.
Yeah, Instagram is definitely the more like attractive thing to do, and
and it's
and
good,
like YouTube
good conversation starters and like connecting too. Like, I mean, the DMs are very powerful, but yeah, that's, I mean,
but yeah, like YouTube isn't sexy.
Yeah,
I think building on YouTube isn't sexy.
Yeah, so I just want, I mean, that, and I know that's just number one. And if you're rocking, you're a real one. But the reason why you want to build a brand is because in tandem of building your brand, the next thing to do is build your email list. Like, email. So you're building your brand, pick a platform to build your brand. But the only reason you're really building your brand, other than building trust, is to build your email list, AKA get people off the platform and into your world. Like, your world is like, when you have an email list, that is one of the most powerful assets to a business that, like, you can have, because you can launch whatever you want to launch with a new email. Technically, I launched a beta coaching group for churches a couple weeks ago and did like 20K in sales just by launching a beta group. And that's just because I have an email list. I didn't even really talk about it. I made one post about it on Instagram, like doing a live stream. Like, one live stream, 20 grand. Did a couple Zoom calls, but like, email list. Having an email list just allows you to be in touch with your people, but more importantly, it's another place where you could show up. And I've said this before, but one of my favorite things about emails is that emails don't have an algorithm. Like when you send an email, it goes to the person's inbox. And if you want to know about email providers, I've used two. I've used Flowdesk, FLODESK.com. And then now I'm using Go High Level. If you're on my email list and you don't see my emails, go to your spam folder, whitelist that thing. I'm promised.
You know what? There is an
emails.
Algorithm, and the algorithm is called the spam folder.
Yeah, but that just depends on the service.
No, sure.
I'm going to spam into a lot of your guys' email. I'm going to spam because of Go High Level's whack. But Flowdesk was where is that?
Yes.
Flowdesk, I mean,
the deliverability was.
Oh man, it was crazy.
Was crazy.
But I think Kartra is great. I think everyone in email is better than Go High Level. But that's just me.
Sure.
Dang, my voice is like goners, but I'm going. We're moving. Okay. So then we move into the next step. We have our content that we produce consistently. And I want to encourage you, you can create content before you have an offer. Like straight up. Here's the thing, because your content can lead people to raise their hand and DM you and be like, hey, do you help people with this stuff? I do. Let's hop on a call. And then create an offer for that person. Okay, so here's what are some great next steps from your content on YouTube, Instagram, all your free content. Great next steps is a discovery call. Have you guys heard of Calendly? If you're just now starting an online business, you don't need a website. You need a Calendly. You just create a 15-minute discovery call. You get on that call and you say, hey, what's up? And then let them tell you their problems. And then you go like, okay, so if I help you with this problem, what will that do? Oh man, everything will change. Cool. Let's work together for the next, and then create an offer. Just throw a number out there. Throw a number that you feel okay to say without getting nervous. That's how you charge. I like to charge based on my convictions. Another next step that you can do from your free content is a web class or a master class. Another word could be a presentation. I literally made over 6 figures last year with one presentation. So like, what's the presentation? The presentation should be an introductory event or an introductory opportunity to learning about what life looks like or what things could look like if anyone would just fix this part of their life. And in my case, my masterclass is called The 5 Costly Mistakes Entrepreneurs Make When Building Their Personal Brands. So I just go through these 5 limiting beliefs and I break those limiting beliefs with some principles, and then I give an offer. And the offer at the end of that is typically my challenge. And that's a $200 offer or $400 offer. And it's crushed. But that's just the masterclass. Like if you could, and I don't think everyone needs to do this. I do believe at some point everyone needs a presentation, like an introductory presentation, because you could take this presentation on podcasts. You could take this presentation on stages. You could take this presentation, like you just go all over the place with this proven presentation that lets people know that your solution is going to change everything about this problem.
Yeah, it could at like first thought, like presentation or webinar or masterclass, it feels like it needs to be some Harvard level, like, speech or something, or, teaching. But it's crazy to think that your masterclass, the, 5 mistakes that entrepreneurs make, it is 5 limiting beliefs, but you're essentially just repeating 5 stories.
Yes. So I learned this from Russell Brunson. By the way, if you want to put together the perfect webinar, watch our conversation on this channel. I will link it up in the description. Make a note, Art.
Making it right now.
Yeah. And it's just, his philosophy is if you do a web class or a master class or a presentation every week for 1 year, you'll never have to worry about money for the rest of your life. And I kind of agree. And I didn't even do that. I just did a fraction of that. But he teaches that it should be parable, which is story. So parable, which is a story, principle, and then there's another P word there. Let me just say it in plain terms instead of trying to be cute. Okay. You share the limiting belief. The limiting belief is you believe social media and YouTube is oversaturated. Tell a story. A real story. It could be yourself. It could be something you've known. It could be somebody else you know. It could be a celebrity. It could be but like limiting belief on like you believe it's oversaturated. I have this client of mine. His name is Dean. And I just tell the story about Dean. And the thing is, when you tell a story, what people do is they connect with that story. So then you tell this story, and then and then what's the principle? The principle of this story is that your uniqueness, or the thing that you feel disqualified for, is the thing that distinguishes you. And that's how you actually stand out online. So there's no such thing as oversaturation. So like you being you. Now that's just one example. You don't need 5, you don't need 3, like you do whatever you want to do, but yes, I am not teaching heavy on these master classes because the goal isn't to teach a ton. The goal is to break the wall for you to go to the next step. But that's masterclass. Okay. If you'd like a separate, me and David's podcast will be just that. Another great next step from your content is an affordable product. An affordable product. What's affordable? Whatever you think is affordable. I mean, could be $27, could be $47. What's the whole thing, Omar, when people put a 7 at the end of their price? It's just psychologically, you see a lower number completely. So if you see $100, that's 3 digits, or if you see 97, that's 2 digits. So to the eye, it seems less expensive. It's $3 off. So like, that's why. If anybody wondered, $19.99. Why not just make it $20? Because $19.99
isn't $20.
It looks cheaper.
Yeah.
Than $20. That's just psychology and pricing. But it's just next step. Now, something you can do in your content is actually sponsor your own videos. I have a whole podcast on this, so I don't want to get repetitive, but sponsor your own content. Create call to actions in your videos, in your short form content, on your stories. Hey, if you want to learn, I'm doing a class this week, comment the word class. I'll send you a link to get signed up. You can do paid traffic. I still started this conversation with building an organic audience, because when you pair organic and paid, it feels like a superpower. We made over $800,000 this year in business, and I've only spent $18,000 in ad spend. Would you trade $18,000 for $850,000?
Yeah, I'd be down.
Okay, bet. So, but that's only possible because I have a brand. So when people see my ads, a lot of times they've probably seen me before. So like, there's already a connection there. It's not like cold. So that's we got manufacture infinite content. We got move into the next step. We're creating your online business. Number 3 is make an offer or a product. Make an offer or a product. Now I want to encourage you. If people have been picking your brain, you have an offer. It's called a one-on-one strategy call. Like, I got a text from one of the guys in the group, Matt, and he was like, dude, check out this text message he got. Hey, Matt, would love to get a round in with you. Want to pick your brain about some things regarding my finances. Yikes. He's like, yeah, I have a pick your brain offer. It's called $1,000 for a 30-minute session, whatever you want to charge, right? Like, and just see what people say about that. Honestly, it doesn't do anything other than make them feel very dumb for asking. And the reality is like, there's always people in your life. I am a firm believer that, like, it's not like I'm a filter. I say I'm not a filter. So it's not like if I'm helping you, I'm helping you. It doesn't matter what. Now, I get to choose if I want to help you. And the reality is I only have a certain amount of capacity. So I put a price to my help. And I've been doing what I've been doing for over 19 years. So just like $1,000 a year times 19. So that's just about, if you want me to help you for a year, you can pay me $19,000.
But would it be good to let people pick your brain to get data?
Okay, so if you want to leverage somebody picking your brain, send them a discovery call link.
Yes.
And this is where here's my thing. If you put a price to a discovery call, there's a perceived value there. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to make it a price where people run away, because the reality is some of you guys need to let people pick your brains, and you need to just capture that Zoom call or document it, because what people are actually doing is they're asking you questions that thousands of people are asking. So great. Thank you for bringing that up. But if you don't charge for it, you just have to be the lead
investigator.
Yeah, or like the lead you have to lead in curiosity. So why'd you ask, can I pick your brain? Like, what are you going through?
Right.
Break that down. What got you here? Well, I got here because I paid this guy. It's like, oh, so that guy's information was wrong. Okay, what makes you think that I have better information? So like, there are questions you can ask to get people to get to a place where they're like, you kind of like, in the best, most respectful way possible, kind of corner them into, okay, yeah, dude, I'd love to help you. This is just what it looks like. And so, but usually a discovery call, there's inherent value because they get inherent clarity by just you asking questions.
Right.
Now, if you're a servant, if you're like me, like I'm a servant, then sometimes you can get taken advantage of. This happens to a lot of people who are like servants.
I've witnessed this real time.
Yeah. It's like, bro, let's go. Like, end the call. And I'm just like helping. And so if you're like that, you need to protect yourself. And yeah, a lot of times just, putting a time limit on that, or knowing, if you know yourself that well, then you could be confident to charge. That's why I'm like, I have no problem charging a lot of money for my coaching and consulting, because I know what else I could be doing. I know what else I could be building. I know myself that I'll just literally change your life completely. And so we're at a location where people walk by and some guy just waved at us. But I want to encourage you, when it comes to making your offer, you can sell it before it's ready. When it comes to making your offer, your service, your program, sell it before it's ready. Number one is because people like to be a part of something new. Number two, people don't even know what they're buying. So like, you're wasting your time trying to make it perfect to present to the marketplace when it doesn't even matter, because all they're trying to buy is the payoff or the transformation. Right? So when I say sell it you can actually whip up a wait list. This is something I learned from Daniel Priestley, business consultant and coach. He would say, start a wait list and don't release the product or the program or the service or whatever. Don't release it until you get 150 people on your wait list. So then you can control spot. You can be like, all right, guys, I have 150 people wanting to be a part of this cohort, this program, and I only have room for 20. Set your price and then release it, and then start a new wait list for the next round. Something you got to get really good at, I talked about it for literally 2 hours this morning on a coach call, was people don't buy what it is you sell. They buy what it is you say. And you need to learn how to say the things that get people to feel like buying. Hey, question for you. Are you somebody who is looking to start creating content, or maybe you currently create content, but all the gear and the tech just overwhelms you? If so, I wanted to let you know about our sponsor for this podcast, Ulanzi. Whether you're creating content with your smartphone, a camera, or just trying to take your Zoom calls to the next level, Ulanzi has everything you need to make your setup look and sound professional. I've been using their gear myself, and honestly, it's been a complete game changer for my content. You can check them out at ulanzi.com/Omar, and we've got some amazing picks for you. And also, if you look at the description below, we have a special promo code that will give you 12% off your entire order. Big thanks to Ulanzi for sponsoring this episode and helping us create.
How the heck do you do that?
By becoming a salesman or a saleswoman,
Sales girl.
a sales girl. When you put on the identity as lead salesman or sales girl, you start to realize how important marketing language is. And I've learned that my content prior to me dialing in my messaging, speaking directly to business owners and thought leaders and expertise and experts and things like that, that I was just giving away like tutorial game, you know? And so when I made it about money, everything changed for me. And so you think about the words you use to create, like when I launched my first, I think I told you this story, like I launched my very first course in like 2021 when I hit 10,000 followers on Instagram.
Yeah, it was a big moment.
It was a big moment. You helped me film the course. Omar's photography masterclass, biggest announcement of my career. And I legit sold zero. And I sold zero because of what it was called. I sold a course called Omar's Photography Masterclass.
Right.
People think they're tight with their with calling things they think is cute. But six-figure photographer would have been better. How to launch a photography business would have been better. Become a professional photographer in 90 minutes would have been better. So this is only like trial by error. Like test it, you know? I just want you to be aware. So everything I'm talking about, I want you to be aware that is very important. And then just charge what you feel like charging. Here's what's cool. We literally had somebody in the program who used to charge $500 for his offer, and he helps with like automations and things like that. And he just jumped on the call today and was like, bro, you gave me the confidence to charge $6,000 for the same thing. So I gave the offer and the person bought it so fast, it made my head spin. And what was the difference? Was it the work? Was it the thing? No, it was his ability to confidently talk about the product that he offers or the service he offers and what that can do to a person. And the more insight he got, and also he invested in himself. So like, he's like, I invested in myself at a high level and I realized you helped me see that what I do is way more valuable than what I thought it was. This is why it's important to have somebody speak into your life. It doesn't have to be me, but somebody to say, hey, do you realize what you're actually doing? No, dude, I just build websites. No, you don't. You build a system that prints money in a person's business.
Right.
It's just completely different way to package it. Same thing though.
Yeah, it's cool that he had that breakthrough and he literally said it felt the same.
Yeah, and I mean,
as selling $500.
Yeah, and sometimes people are like, well, how do you know how much to charge? Like I said, don't charge past your convictions. And you can't just charge a lot just to charge a lot. But there is wisdom in pricing your offer at a place where if you truly believe you're the best at what it is you do, then if you don't charge like you're the best at what it is you do, there could be a disconnect. Because if I went on the corner of this street and I tried to sell this Rolex for $500 to people or $100, do you think they'd buy it? Or do you think they'd think it's fake?
Think it's fake.
Just because of the price.
Right.
Not because of anything else.
Okay, so what would you say to your like initial start? I mean, were you charging out of your conviction or were you like you didn't know your worth? Because when you first launched your like coaching program, it was very low.
It was $2,000 for a year.
Yeah, and then you increased it because someone, you know, helped you break a belief, and then you actually backtrack and was like, no, I think it should be this price.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel right charging this much.
Right. Yeah. I actually think most people will have a limiting belief around their worth simply because of how we've been programmed growing up. And that's just, it is what it is. And no one is closer to your expertise than you. So because you're so familiar with it, even more, you actually devalue it.
Sure. But I guess the question is like, how does someone walk that line? Because you've already lived through it and you've experienced it.
Yeah. And it's the never ending thing. Like, I mean, now I charge $20,000 for essentially the same thing. Do I get people a result even quicker because I've helped more people? Yes. But it's still, at this point, at the time I'm filming this, it's $20,000 for what I help you do, or for what I help people with. And it's only going up. And it only goes up because of the predictability of the outcome that I could create for people. And that happens, you just got to ask yourself, the problem that you solve, is it sophisticated enough to charge a sophisticated price? And then another thing about pricing is when you tell a person that price, what state of mind are they in? It's almost more important to identify the vehicle or it's the vehicle or the vacuum in which a price is conveyed. It matters more important than the price itself sometimes. So that's why like a one-on-one discovery call is very powerful, because they are focused. They've only been talking about their problem for the last 15 to 30 minutes, maybe an hour. And then something gets presented that can take that pain away.
Right.
So, I mean, that's probably its own podcast, is pricing.
Yeah.
But I think at its core, I just want you to charge based on your conviction. And when you charge and you deliver, when you feel like it's no longer worth it, then up the price.
Yeah, it's a good indicator that your conviction is like growing.
Yeah. So it's like, wow, wait, you just paid me $297 and I helped you make $50,000. There's a shoot, I don't know, like there's something off there. There probably is. So then raise the price. But that's literally that's it. I know that kind of was a little deep and a little long-winded. You have some questions? Is there anything like
I feel like we hit it all.
This was like a course. This was a legit masterclass.
I know, you kind of just like went at it. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Dude, there has to be something. ChatGPT, come on.
I mean, I asked all the great ones, I think.
Yeah?
Yeah. Because like there's one in here that's, how do I validate my business idea?
That's really good. You didn't ask that question. That's a really good question. How do you validate it? By selling it before it's ready.
Okay.
So yes, I addressed the answer, but not answering that question, I guess. But yeah, again, people will buy your words. And so you validate it by throwing it out there. You can always cancel something. Now, I don't want you to cancel something because you're scared, or like in your mind, you're like, I thought I was going to have 100 people sign up and I only have 5 people who signed up. Deliver. Just do it. Do it for the data. That's a bar right there. If there's any reason why you should do something right now in this season and it's underpaid, do it for the data. Dang, I need to thread this. Because it's always, as someone who values data at the highest level, and I find that like people like Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, they don't build the companies that we think they built data companies. So if they think data is infinitely valuable, we should think data is infinitely valuable. So you validate it by just putting it out there, selling it before it's ready.
Yeah, I mean, typically you have around 200 people on your challenges, and recently like a friend of yours wanted to do a challenge himself for what he's in, and he ended up getting like 8 people on his challenge,
something like that.
And in the beginning he was just like, dang it, like there's only 8 people, like I should probably not do this or not go through with it. But no, he doubled down and he did it for the data, and like he ended up getting some super valuable insight that actually maybe freed him from something that he didn't want to do.
Yeah. The thing is like the next time you do this, it will get easier. So like this friend of mine, who I've just been helping with his stuff, he got insight that he doesn't have to do it across 3 days. He can do it in one sitting. How would you have known that? You wouldn't have unless you would have done it.
Yeah.
So you validate a business idea not by asking everybody for their opinion on your business idea. You validate it by actually selling it before it's ready. That's the only question. Dang, dude, we need better prompts. That's what we need. We need to get good at. I just bought the ChatGPT business plan, and I want Art and Sophie to be goats at it.
I mean, I say, like, I feel like we've hit it all just because you've covered a lot of these questions, but
maybe it did.
What legal and financial steps should someone take?
Oh, wow. That's really good. I did not hit that.
Yeah. Okay. What are some legal?
Because if you're starting a business,
yes.
Number one, you want to get an EIN number.
Okay. I didn't know you wanted to cover this kind of stuff. I don't,
but here we go. If ChatGPT says this is like one of the top questions, you guys are probably like, maybe you didn't even wonder it, but this is what's beautiful about ChatGPT and podcasting. Okay. If you're starting a business, you want to go on the Google, you type in EIN number and then the state you live in. Don't click on any of the sponsored links. Click on the first real link and it should be like a .gov.
Yeah, it has to be an irs.gov.
irs.gov
link.
You fill that thing out. It takes 2 minutes. You will get an EIN number, an employee identification number. Now you're no longer running your business on your social security. You're now running it based on this free EIN number. Then you take this number and you could bring it to the bank and open up a bank account. You can open up a checking and savings account, and then you can connect all your Stripe, any way that you're going to get payment, your QuickBooks, whatever you're going to do, you connect it through that. And that's how you take money, and that's how you buy things for your business. Any subscription you have, any equipment you're going to buy, just put it all on your business. If you're going to run ads, put your ads on your business. Like, by the way, put ads on a credit card.
I guess I'll have to link up Matt's episode too.
Oh yeah, that's good. Yeah. But that's pretty much it. I mean, that's all you need. You can get an LLC that costs a couple $100,
and it protects you.
And that's all it does. It's not like a tax strategy. When you file, there are tax strategies, but this is not a tax conversation. But at bare minimum, EIN, bank account.
Yeah. Here's a good one. What's the best way to attract my target audience? Through like being online, picking a platform, like what kind of content should someone create?
The content you should create to attract your ideal audience.
Yeah. How do you figure that out?
Is to solve solutions using their language.
Okay.
So who's an ideal audience person for me? Like somebody looking to start a podcast. Right.
How do you discover their language?
You discover their language through conversation. And and this is what, like, part of the skill in getting really good at building a business is listening to people. Like, just listen and notice the way they actually vocalize their pain. Anytime somebody vocalizes their problem or their pain to you, it's literally your next hook idea for your next video.
Yeah, I mean, I'll never forget the red light of doom.
Oh yeah, red light of doom. Like somebody mentioned at a workshop, like, man, when I just turn on that camera, that red light of doom just like gets me. I'm like, there's an email subject headline.
Right.
So you get, if you want to attract the ideal people, you speak their language. You learn how to speak their language by actually listening.
Great.
Yeah. So if there's anything that came from this conversation that you would like to for us to unpack, something I'm committed to, literally, I get this question a ton. Omar, who's like a dream podcast guest? I literally don't have one.
No,
I don't.
What?
Bro, I'll run this podcast alone.
No, yeah, but I thought you had one that we agreed on.
Who?
Vin Yang.
That's not like a dream. If it happens, it happens. I don't care.
Okay.
All I'm saying is I will go as niche to create its own podcast on pricing.
Yeah.
This is what I'm trying to get to.
I mean, I have a feeling that from this conversation, there's going to be comments of like, Omar, like I don't get what you're saying. Like, it's not deep enough. I need you to expand. So
yeah, and I'd love to. And that's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I care more about what you guys are getting from this than what I get from this. And so throw it in the comments. If you're still listening, DM me on Instagram. Shout out to everybody who did that on the last podcast I did.
DM Omar.
What?
The Depth Fam, or I'm the Depth Fam.
No, just say listen till the end. Why you got to make it so hard?
Because, dude, that's how, like, you just create something, you know?
Okay. If you are still listening or watching, you're gonna DM me Department Fam.
Yeah.
Flip your hat around so they could see how to spell department.
By the way, we're never doing this mic situation again.
No, these are way too heavy. There you go. DEPT Fam. Got it?
DEPT
And
Fam.
Depending on when you're watching this, it'd probably be worth you taking the Content to Cast challenge. It'll be really good for you. And that's just my opinion, but also the opinion of now thousands of people who have taken the Content to Cast challenge. Amazing. All right. You guys be blessed. Peace. Bye, Art.
Bye.
Excited. I'll do a tour video, by the way, one of these days when we get it dialed. Because this door behind me, ooh, you don't even know.
Oh, dude,
oh yeah,
you know what?
yeah.
No, just
whoa.
hold on. Just look out for another video. It's gonna be titled "We Got Evicted," and then it'll be a tour.
Okay, no, but for real, if you want to be in the know of all that's happening, like the events I'm gonna be throwing here, would love to have you. Just join get on the newsletter, and that'd be really cool. All right, peace out.